Welcome to the 14th devlog for Blue Sky Aces, a retro World War I flight simulator for those wanting more action and less fluff in their flight simulators. Once again, I have to apologise for this devlog being much later than I had planned. This last month has been focused on some really great improvements and a new demo update, but unfortunately there was way more work to do than I had anticipated. That said, I'm really pleased where things are currently at, as the demo is now much closer to being feature complete, and I'll have another update with some nice to haves in the near future. Right, let's get into the progress over the last month. For me, the biggest and most important feature is the new third-person mouse controls. This has been something that I've been struggling with for at least the last 3 months, where every previous attempt had resulted in failure. This time around I did a lot more research and came across a great resource which contained a lot of information, a video and some source code. I put a link in the description for anyone who wants to investigate it for themselves. The old mouse system used to steer the aircraft towards the raw mouse position, whereas the new solution uses the amount the mouse is moved to rotate a target position around the aircraft, which the aircraft then steers towards. This approach means that the aircraft is trying to align to a direction, which only changes when the mouse moves, unlike the old system where the aircraft could never catch the mouse position until the player returned it to the centre of the screen. The main advantage of this new approach is that the extra situational awareness it provides. In the old system you were restricted to simply trying to outturn the enemy, mainly because you were forced to guess which way they'd gone the moment they got outside your field of view. With a new system you can simply spin the view around to follow the enemy, and your aircraft will perform whatever manoeuvre is required to align with them. This allows for some really cool manoeuvring, which gives you a great feeling of control. Now don't worry if you don't like the new mouse controls as much as I do. I left the old system in there which you can enable if you wish. However, I'd encourage you to give the new system a try, as I think you'll really love it once you get the hang of it. The other cool feature added was the ability to fire rockets and drop bombs, which need to be earned by researching them using the new upgrade system. The rockets are based on the French-developed Le Pure incendiary rockets that were primarily used to destroy observation balloons, but could also be used against any soft and flammable targets. These are basically large fireworks which have a metal blade in the tip to tear open the balloons. So far I haven't found any information about the Germans using air-launched rockets, so if anyone has any information then please drop a comment below with the details. Bombs were the other big improvement to the weapons, and come in two flavours, the first being the simple hand drop bombs that were typically tossed out of the cockpit by the pilot or observer, and the second being the more substantial bombs on the aircraft that had purpose-built mounts or bomb bays for them, the latter being the more powerful of the two types. Aiming at the bombs during the First World War was generally very ad hoc, and the Mark I eyeball was the primary gun sight. Personally, I found the best approach is to simply put the aircraft into an approximate 45-degree dive, and then line up the crosshair with the target, pulling up close to the target and releasing one or more bombs. This approach highlighted a rather comical bug that I've been aware of for a while, but I hadn't rushed to fix it, as it was very rare. However, the addition of bombs made it extremely easy to reproduce, and so it needed to be fixed. The problem was that the blast wave from the bombs and any secondary explosions tended to damage your own aircraft, often blowing both wings off. The funny part was that you could still glide your now wingless aircraft down for a safe landing. The solution to this involved two fixes. First, the bombs were fitted with a delay fuse to give you an extra second to clear the target, and the second was to throw the aircraft into a spin if it lost the wing, making it extremely unlikely that you could land it. As a bonus, this second fix also applies to the AI aircraft, which can cause some nice reactions when you shoot off their wings. Since releasing the latest demo update, I've started work on a new preferences screen, which will ultimately contain a lot of customizations that you can make to the way the game looks. So far I've added a field of view settings for both first and third person cameras, as well as the ability to zoom in the camera, which by default is bound to the middle mouse button or the V key. Currently you can't rebind the mouse buttons, but I intend to change that in the future. There's also options to hide all of the visual elements on the heads-up display, such as gauges, weapon statuses, messages, etc. The rockets can now be configured to either fire as a salvo, where all rockets fire, or one per launcher, which means you end up firing 2 rockets per pull of the trigger. Over time I plan to grow the list of options on the screen, so if you have any suggestions then please leave a comment below and I'll see what I can do. There's probably a whole lot more new features and bug fixes that I could talk about, but these were the main ones. The next task is to look at improving the look controls for the gamepad and joystick users in preparation for another demo update in a week or two's time. Kuten's also provided a couple of new aircraft models, the Sopwith Pup and the Albatross D3, which I need to import into the game. Also need to get back into building new missions and polishing up the ones that I've already created. I'd also like to investigate the option of creating a kind of random sandbox type of mission, with a broad goal that you can achieve however you like, and where the enemy adjusts to try and counter your approach. But at this point, this is still very much in the early design stages. As always, if you've got some suggestions for new aircraft or features, then please drop a comment below, or check out the Discord server where I try to provide daily updates. There's a link in the description. If you enjoyed this, then please hit the like button. It's a tiny thing, but it really does help with the YouTube algorithm. And click subscribe to ensure that you don't miss out on the next update. If you'd like to give the game a try, then check out the link in the description to the game's Steam page where you can play the demo for free. And don't forget to wishlist it so you'll be notified when the game is released.